sentimental view of the currency pairs for the Quasidb service for the 15th of April. I thought I'd chop and change the sentiment and then technical. So we do technical and then sentiment and technical and sentiment, and it gives you like a better overarching uh, perspective. So the good thing about this, the sentiment, is that we can see the pivots. These are the monthly pivots that you can see. So technically speaking, it's bullish above and then bearish below. And you can also see the FXSI sentiment too. Keep an eye on these lines. When they go down, it normally would mean that it's a buy because the retailer's selling. But do note the diagonal break as well, and also the stop loss clusters. And the last thing to bring your attention to, the order book. So they're your stop losses and things like that, and limit orders. So buy orders, sell limits, buy limits. And this is your current position. So where they interchange, that's a key feature. So just keep an eye on that, and you can see because there's like a downward pressure because there's people long and they're caught. So yeah, so something to bear in mind. So there's your current positions and order book. Okay, so Aussie yen, you can see that we're probing the stop loss cluster, 67.61 currently. So check price, and it's currently a sell. Aussie dollar, got the diagonal, and then at that point, a really good sell. So you wait for the Heikin-Ashi candle to turn red, and then it becomes a sell. And ideally, the one after is then red also. That just confirms the sell even more. These are old stop loss clusters, historical ones. And so there's your target there, 62.96. There you go. Euro Oz, 173.04. So have we broken the diagonal? And we've got a broken diagonal on the Euro USD, and we're taking the stop loss cluster out. So it points towards these old ones here, which you can see 1089 potentially. And also keep an eye on the current positions. So there's a lot of pressure here because there's people trapped. So that's a key line in the sand there. Just below, got the cable rate, the pound USD. Hasn't really formatted a decent diagonal there. So don't forget to check your pivots as well, because that's your bias. Got a strong one there, and looks like we're breaking that one too. Where's the line? There you go. Let's see if this does it. And it's somewhere around here. So the last 2 4-hourly candles, we've broken that diagonal. So potentially a bounce on the pivot. So keep an eye on the sentiment as well. So they could do the Kiwi dollar to sell. There's your target. There's your pivot. There's your break. All right. So everything lines up. Try and get things to line up, like sentiment and technicals. Ideally, it would be below the pivot before you sold it, but the sentiments and the diagonal break. Euro yen, good one if you held on. This went out to the Telegram. So the level of interest there is just below the stop loss cluster, 117.04. So it's a sell, and it's a sell. I've got the pound yen again, just like what the cable rate did 2 4-hourly candles ago. So 8 hours ago, it turned bearish on the Heikin-Ashi, probing the SLC. It might trigger these stops, but don't forget where prices would pivot as well. So I think this month we'll have like a disorderly pivots because March was really out of bonk. So May would be things would make more sense with the sentiment and stuff. So while things are a sell, they're actually above monthly pivot. So things are a little bit out of skew. So ideally we'd want it below that in order to sell. Okay, just keep an eye on your monthly pivots and weekly pivots too. Dollar yen, currently a sell, 60%, and they're going long, as you can see. So keep an eye on this. This is the dynamic, this is the static, and you want the two to agree. And it looks like they are, and we've got a nice resistance. And you can see on the spreadsheet where your stop loss clusters are too. Dollar CAD, nice break there. That would have happened, yeah. Oh, this is the hourly chart, yeah. So that would have been what, 6 o'clock? So yeah, 6 o'clock my time. So buy, and the MyFX book. So that's interesting. Yeah, they're selling, so it becomes a buy. So they're quite erratic, that MyFX book, the orange line. They really did sell there at that point. Right there, they sold. Dollar Swiss, currently a sell. We're above the diagonal, we're above the monthly pivot. There's your stop loss clusters. There's your order book. So just a quick one on oil. This was ridiculously bearish on the sentiment, over 30 SSI. So it should really fall. I'm looking to go long, but not when it's so crowded. This is the crowdest trade I've ever seen in my entire life. So wait for that ratio to get better. At 95%, it's not worth going long because everyone and their neighbour are long oil at the moment. So come down, take their stops, and then perhaps a nice rally there. But it's going to be a good risk reward when it does actually bottom out. And then gold, it's becoming a buy. It actually did flip to sell, and now it's becoming more of a buy because of the big sell-off from the high. Everyone thought, oh, that looks quite good, I'll sell. And by doing so, then it creates price to come up. We are way above monthly pivot, and this is MR1. So MR2 is up there, 1827. Keep an eye on your stop loss clusters as well. We were mocking the retail for having their stop loss clusters at 1703, and we were saying, well, how crazy is that? How far away is that? And look where price is now. So be careful. You don't want to be on the wrong side, if possible. And that just wraps up a quick one. So hopefully it was insightful. There are some things to take into account, like monthly pivots where price is above or below. You've got to take into account your static analysis and then your dynamic analysis as well. And you want them to agree. A lot of the pairs aren't agreeing with technical and sentiment, so do take care. And May will be easier because this month's a bit more stable than March. So we're looking at it from a monthly pivot perspective. Next month will be easier. Got US retail sales and a big miss there, and we've got the Bank of Canada interest rate decision as well, so take care of that.